Hey, how's it going, dudes and dudettes? Brad the Fixologist here, and I am with my daughter, Ivy Sue.
Hi.
And we are gonna just do a real quick repair, okay? This is a safety award that my mother won from a mine. Ivy Sue here and my entire family were coal miners. My mom was a coal miner. My dad was a coal miner until he got hurt. My uncles, almost all of my uncles were coal miners on my dad's side of the family and my mom's side of the family, frankly. Where I come from, pretty much everybody was a coal miner. My papa was a coal miner when he got out of the Navy after World War II in Korea. He went into the coal mines, fluorspar mines, and then coal mines, and worked there pretty much all of his life. And I think by the time he retired, he had done very well for himself in the coal mines. He was a boss, and my mom was a boss, and my stepdad's a coal miner. Everybody's worked in coal mines. Even I had a little short stint in a coal mine. So this is a part of my, family history, sort of, and I'd like to kind of preserve it the best way I can. But as you can see, he's had an unfortunate accident at some point. His feet have broken off here. This is actually made from coal. Extremely light. I haven't weighed it, but it's, coal is a very light substance. And this is really, really light. Tell me how light it is, Ivy Sue. Pick him up. How light is he?
He's really light.
He's really light.
He feels like a Barbie.
So whatever mishap that he had that broke him off from his base, looks like it sent a crack all the way up through his arm. This crack extends all the way down here into his buttocks. This does have a signature by the artist. These are not particularly expensive or anything, but just the fact that it's like I said, family history. There's a little bit of sentimentality here, so I want to try to preserve it. It's a mining safety award from 1988, and they would have had to have had some kind of mass production here. Maybe they took coal dust and then mixed it with resin to create this. I don't know exactly how it was, and then mold it, perhaps. I don't know exactly how it was done, but that's my guess. We're going to try to drill through this, and unfortunately, it looks like there's even some cracks here. There's a crack through here on this one and a crack right through the center of this one too. So I don't know. We might actually end up doing more harm than good with this. What do you think, Ivy Sue? You think we're going to be able to fix it?
Yeah, I think we're going to be able.
Now, I've seen this exact guy where he was not married to this base. This same figure was on a different base, like a piece of wood, with this bucket. And his feet, as you can see here, they're definitely glued on. So I think this figure has been created separately and then glued onto this separate base, and this as well, it looks like it has been glued on too. The base has taken a little bit of damage. There's a crack running through there in addition to the crack that I saw here. It looks like a big chunk of it maybe broke off at one point. You can see it broke there. So yeah, I mean, it's just kind of in a poor state. We'll start on this side and we'll drill a couple of holes. Then we'll turn it over, and somehow with this guy held on here or attached in some way, I don't know, maybe we'll clamp him, maybe we will temporarily glue him, but then we have to drill the other direction up through the hole that we created to go into his leg. And we don't want to go too far into his leg, but we have to go some distance, far enough so that our repair will hold. What I would like to get him into is a state where at least he'll stand up and I can display him or what have you. But you can see he had an axe here, and the axe has been kind of broken off too. So, he's in a poor state of repair, and this isn't really about a complete restoration. It's just about, like I said, preserving a little bit of family history. So let's see what we can do here. I'm not sure how this is going to go, and it wouldn't surprise me a bit if this just crumbles. So that went okay. There's our pilot hole on that one. Yeah, I can definitely smell the glue where I went through the glue on that, and just judging by the dust, that does have a bit of a resiny smell, so I'm pretty sure that that's the way they made this. They molded it with coal dust and some kind of resin. Now, coal dust, over time, breathing that stuff will kill you, and it gives you a condition called black lung, which a lot of people where I grew up suffer from. And that's not the only bit of suffering that coal miners go through. All the old songs like you load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you take me 'cause I can't go. I sold my soul to the company store. Do, 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 do. Roll on, buddy. Pull your load of coal. Honey, how can I pull when the wheels won't go? Lots of coal mining songs where we came from because lots of coal miners and lots of coal mines. The western Kentucky coal fields produce a lot of coal. States like Pennsylvania as well. The entire Ohio Valley is covered up with this stuff. And we have hundreds of years worth of this stuff if only we would be unleashed. See, this is where I get a lot of my distrust for government and things like that. It's kind of ingrained in people where I come from because government usually only ever got in the way of our way of life and made things worse for us. It was never a matter of government coming in and making things better. They usually came in and screwed things up and overregulated and made things much, much worse. So that's where a lot of my distrust comes from. So yeah, black lung will give you many breathing problems, and they'll be exacerbated over the course of your life. The pension benefits and stuff like that for coal miners was pretty decent. It was about the only place that you could go to make a decent living if you didn't already own a lot of farmland where I grew up. One of the few industries somebody who wasn't very skilled could get into and do pretty well for themselves. Feed a family of 3 or 4. But the flip side of that, the problem with that is a lot of people ended up not just with black lung, but with lots of injuries and issues, whether it be bad hips because they drove a mining car like my mother, whether it was, back pains from bending over the whole time underground, lots of things, little pains and aches. And it's one of the hardest, dirtiest, filthiest jobs that you can have, and it's one of the hardest on your body. And a lot of coal miners, they end up getting addicted to prescription pain medication at some point in their life because they had to take it for pain, and that's yet another problem that coal miners go through. But anyway, it was just long enough, barely. Okay, made it through on that one. All right, now comes the part where we have to drill into this guy's legs. Okay, there's that hole. This is what they do with statues. Usually if they put up a statue in a park or something, they usually do it like this from the very beginning. They will put reinforcements inside those statues to hold everything together, and that's kind of what we're doing here. And we're going to use some coat hanger wire. Alright. Let's see. Please just... Oh, it's just going to fit. Look at that. It just fits. We got lucky. How about that, Ivy Sue? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how lucky we just got?
Yeah.
I think I want to take that hole just a little bit further than it's going. Okay. Cut it off right about there. I'll just mark it and cut it outside of the figure. Alright, so I know it's got to go up to the mark. Well, come out of there. Yeah, that sucker went way up in there. Now we just got to mix up some epoxy and get this all together really fast, because this epoxy mixes real quick. All right, let's get her started. So we'll get that on there. We'll get as much Get as much as glue on here as we can. Also, all right. All right. Wire number 2. Oh, come on, epoxy, don't cure yet. Don't cure yet. Don't cure yet. Okay. Okay. Don't cure yet. Not yet. All right. Let's get our rubber bands. And I got epoxy all over my finger, which is awesome. Okay. All right. All right, little buddy. All right, little buddy. Don't move until you're cured. We'll come back in about an hour and check him. All right, it has been 3 hours or so. The old rubber bands. He's not coming apart. Seems okay. Should be able to grind off this little bit of excess epoxy here. We can fill this hole right here with some filler, and then grind down on that and match all of that area up with the filler. And I don't think you're ever going to see it by the time we're done. We'll get a little bit of filler in this area too, down here where his other foot cracked off. It actually sealed up nicely on the back and sides of that foot. So really all we're going to have to do there is just grind a little bit on it with the Dremel. But like I said, this is a safety award. They gave these out, you know, whenever you didn't have any lost time accidents and stuff like that in the mines. This is from a company called MAPCO, and this is at their Pattiki mine. They had a couple different mines. They had a Pattiki, Retiki, and Dotiki. Fun fact, my mom was one of the first female coal miners, I believe, ever, because back in the late 80s, about 1986-87, she started in the coal mines, and at that time she was one of only maybe 2 women in the entire region that she knew of that was in the coal mines, and they had just kind of opened the mines up to women workers. You know, I guess there was some kind of political push or something to get more women workers in the mines. She started out, I think, running a pinner, and then later moved on to driving a coal car underground. And like I said, she was one of the first there, and for a long time she worked at this coal mine in Muhlenberg County, Kentucky, called Paradise Mine, which if you've ever heard the song by John Prine, Paradise, you will understand the significance of that. Really interesting that my mom actually worked at the place described in that song. So kind of a cool part of history my mom is, really, you know, in coal mining. By the time she ended her career, her mine had unionized, and she was actually the head of that union. So she was responsible for negotiating on behalf of all of the workers in her mine, which was a real sign of respect. And you know, miners, they all had nicknames for each other. I think my dad's nickname was Weed Hopper, and my mom's nickname was Lulu, because they called her Cindy Lou or Cindy Lou Who. So then they kind of shortened it, I think, to Lulu after a while or something like that. But anyway, another little interesting tidbit about mine culture. You know, they used to collect, in addition to like things like this, safety awards, you know, which a lot of people would sort of collect, I suppose. Other miners would collect stickers, and they would put them all over their mining helmets. Another interesting thing about coal mining culture is that nearly everyone who worked at coal mines, they would sort of swipe things from time to time from the mines. You know, they would go to the top shacks and say, "Hey, give me a couple rolls of tape," and then they would end up bringing the tape home. And this is an old roll of MSHA approved mining tapes. That's Mine Safety and Health Administration tape, and they came in various sizes, like this thickness or bigger thicknesses. And we almost always had this tape around my houses, man. Growing up, everybody had MSHA tape. So really interesting. In addition to, you know, a few other things too that were common around the mines, but yeah, those are just kind of the interesting things I remember growing up around around the miners and the mining community, man. We're going to go ahead and chop some of this off, about as much as we can get down to, and then we'll grind the rest of it. And if we wanted to, we could even come on the bottom of this and paint this. We could sand it a little bit and paint it, and you would never even know that was there. I just want him to stand up straight when I set him down. And he does with his MSHA tape.